Hello and welcome to another edition of Wrestle Talk with 3 Goofballs. I am your host, Pat, and alongside me is Raceland and James. And today we got a full schedule. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Matt Hardy's tweets and what they mean. We're going to talk about the U.S. title picture, Almas's push maybe that he's possibly getting. Smackdown Tag Team tournaments, what's going on there and all that. And Aleister Black, we're going to dabble in that a little bit. But let's go back to Matt Hardy's tweets. We need to talk about what they possibly could mean for the future of Matt Hardy. James, what is your opinion on these tweets that he's been sending out?
Well, in the tweets that he's been sending out, he kind of already stated that, because of a certain move, that his spine and pelvis are actually starting to fuse together. And the move that he kind of referred to was like a diving leg drop from the second rope.
Second rope or top rope, one of the two.
One of the two. So, as we know, that takes a lot of toll on your hips after a while. So, I can definitely see them, hinting that he's going to have to retire soon. I'm not saying he's going to retire immediately because of this, but I think he's just kind of like telling the fans, it's coming, because he's made a tweet, he listed the dates that he was going to be at. Come and see the expedition while you can or something like that. So I definitely think the tweets mean retirement's on the horizon, but not quite yet.
I agree with that. I also think that, because of the moves that he's previously done, and it's taken a toll on his body in the later years, and maybe not yet he'll retire, but I do see it in the near future. Unfortunately, that's one of our favorite childhood wrestlers. I know it is mine. Raceland, what's your take on this?
Well, at first, I really didn't know what to take of it because when he first started tweeting them out, his buddy, I can't remember his name, had recently passed away. And so when Matt Hardy tweeted out, "Thank you to all the fans," I thought he just meant because he and his buddy had created a wrestling company called Event Omega, or just called Omega. Yeah. And so I thought he was just thanking fans for sticking by him all these years. But now that all of this news is coming out that his pelvis is starting to fuse with his spine, I think he probably is going to be retiring soon. I definitely would like to see him tag with Jeff at least one more time before he goes out. And it could be as broken Matt Hardy, or woken Matt Hardy, sorry. It's not broken anymore, he's woken.
Right.
It could be woken Matt Hardy and Brother Nero, or just regular Matt and Jeff. I wouldn't mind seeing either one.
So let me ask you this. If you had to pick between one of the two, would you rather see him come kind of exit his career as he came in as that version of Matt Hardy, or would you rather see the Woken gimmick till the end of his career?
That's a hard one.
That is a difficult one.
That's really
Because we all know the Woken gimmick was a creation by Matt Hardy in his mind.
That's totally his.
But
yeah,
as a farewell type of thing, do we want to see him go back to the old school Matt Hardy?
I'd say yes.
I would like to point something out to you guys. Matt Hardy retweeted someone earlier, and that particular retweet had that guy tweeting Matt Hardy saying, if you walk away now, we won't ill judge you for it and all that. And he retweeted it. I recently went to his Twitter and it's gone.
So Matt Hardy's?
Matt Hardy's Twitter.
Really?
Yes, it's gone. So I don't understand what kind of signal he's trying to portray here. Yes, these moves have injured his body over time. He's probably going to retire soon. I do believe that. But it's strange.
Do you think this could probably play into a storyline?
No,
because,
it's hard to tell.
I doubt it.
Because we've kind of seen this before, not to severity, but let's look at the Mark Henry retirement when he turned on John Cena. We all thought that was a legit retirement speech, but
right,
it wasn't. So it's not. It wouldn't be too far fetched to have a fake retirement type of thing, when it comes to stuff like this. But do you think it's highly unlikely that this is what's going on?
It's I think it's very unlikely that they're doing it storyline wise, because he's been tweeting all this stuff out, and WWE hasn't been retweeting any of it.
Yeah.
So I think this is his own thing. I think he's talked to WWE and look, stuff's going on with me. maybe it's time for me to hang it up, at least for the time being. So hopefully things could calm down for him, maybe. But I don't know. I see retirement in his near future, unfortunately.
Now, did you say the tweet was deleted or his Twitter was deleted? Because I'm on his Twitter right now.
No, the tweet was deleted.
Okay, the way you said it made it sound like he deleted his
No,
Twitter completely. So I was like, what the heck?
No, there was a retweet earlier from some fan out there. I don't remember who it was. I don't remember the name, so I'm sorry. But yeah, it was talking about if you walk away now, then nobody's going to judge you for it because obviously you're probably in pain and you need to retire.
So,
and he deleted that retweet.
We record on Sundays. And so on his Twitter, he tweeted this picture about an hour before we started recording. I'm just now seeing it. It's a picture of him and Jeff Hardy as what they were before.
The old school gimmick.
Like Jeff Hardy has like multicolored hair. Matt Hardy's got the mesh. I think it's called mesh type shirt.
Right. Definitely
the old
vintage.
school retro
the
Hardy
old
Boys
school
look.
retro Hardys. You guys are looking at it now too.
Yeah.
Do you think that he's hinting at they're going back to the old school Hardy style?
I doubt. What do you mean, like the end of the Woken gimmick?
Yeah.
I don't know. Why would he be thanking the fans over time?
Especially if he's going to retire soon.
Yeah, I mean,
then that would be bringing Jeff Hardy down.
No,
instead of bringing him up to Brother Nero.
It wouldn't necessarily
here's the
because
thing.
then they could compete for the Raw Tag Team titles or SmackDown, wherever he goes.
Well, Pat, you just made a statement that you said they would be bringing Jeff down because of the whole he wouldn't be Brother Nero.
Right.
Without a Woken Matt, there is no Brother Nero. They're a hand-in-hand gimmick.
But
so
essentially no, because they're on two different brands.
that's the point. If Matt
Hardy
is retired, let's say, obviously this is all speculation.
Yeah.
But if Matt Hardy is saying, okay, we're retiring soon, okay, Brother Nero, I don't think we'll ever see the gimmick because what made Brother Nero's gimmick work was Matt Hardy.
True, but Jeff hasn't said anything about retirement at all.
Well,
No,
This
he
is
hasn't said
all
anything about retirement, but no one ever really does until it actually happens, especially in the WWE.
Right,
Yeah.
but Matt has been giving hints. Jeff hasn't.
Well,
I think Jeff's going to continue after.
yeah.
They should.
I mean, he could go on
should.
he could stick to what he's doing now.
I think the thing Matt Hardy's doing right now is if this isn't at work, maybe it's kind of like they just found out that this has been bothering him,
Right.
and found out about the spine and pelvis kind of fusing together.
Yeah.
So that's why he's kind of like reaching out to the fans because Matt Hardy's a fan guy. I mean, as we all know, at WrestleMania weekend, he was out on Bourbon Street,
Right.
in his gear, and that's one of the things that makes Matt Hardy so great, because he is for the fans type of person.
Oh yeah, he's loved by everybody.
But I don't think that tweet, as we were talking about the retro Hardy book, Hardy Boy look, I don't think that's a sign that they're going to go back. I think it's right as of right now. I hope they do go back if it is his final farewell type of thing. But if you look at his Twitter feed for the last couple of days, it's like him and fans, and it's he also had like a graphic with like words in it.
It's essentially a farewell.
It's kind
of what I gathered,
showing his appreciation to the fans supporting him over the years.
Right.
So moving on, let's talk about the United States title picture, which includes Jeff Hardy. And as we know as of late this week, that Jeff Hardy and Shinsuke Nakamura were fighting for the United States title come SummerSlam. So what do you think about this match? And do you think after the attack on Jeff Hardy that Randy Orton had happened Tuesday night, do you think he's going to be added to the match before SummerSlam?
I definitely think he will be. If he's not added, then what direction are they going with? There would be no direction. It would make absolutely no sense if Randy Orton is not added to this match at all.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I think if they don't add him into this match, then the whole point of attacking Jeff Hardy every Tuesday night is you wash that away, I feel like.
No, I definitely agree. I see him being added to the match as well, but I also see him actually winning the match, and then Jeff and Orton keep going back and forth with each other. Sort of continue the harassment on Jeff. Kind of make him go into his Brother Nero gimmick and get weird like Matt Hardy did maybe, but I guess we'll have to wait and see on that one.
You think Randy Orton wins at SummerSlam?
I do.
You think they take the belt off Shinsuke that quick?
Yep.
I
think they do.
Too. I do too.
Shinsuke doesn't approach me as a title holder for very long. I don't see it.
Yeah, he wasn't a title holder for too terribly long while he was in New Japan.
Yeah, I think they gathered that too.
I mean, he had a pretty decent.
He had a decent run, but
Well, even on NXT when he was the NXT champion, he had a decent run there as well.
well, NXT's not as big as
right.
Well, I'm not saying it's not as big, but that's still under the umbrella of WWE.
well, yeah.
So I mean, I'm trying to put it in WWE perspective.
Well, when you're competing in front of a handful of people, because Full Sail's not that big of a arena, so you can easily pull more stuff off there than you can, because Full Sail, what it ultimately is, at size venue, is just a house show.
Yeah.
Because you're getting as many people at Full Sail as you are at a normal house show.
Now, what I can't see them doing though is you were saying how Nakamura, you can see him losing the title, which I wouldn't be surprised if he does, but I can also see them doing this, adding Randy Orton to the match, and Jeff cost Orton, like let's say Randy Orton RKO Shinsuke, he's about to pin him, Jeff Hardy comes in, and then Shinsuke ends up winning the match, then we get a feud between Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy, because that's kind of what they've been teasing this last few weeks.
Well,
There's a big feud between them, obviously.
Orton almost ripped his ear off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he put him on the announce table and wiped his makeup off.
Yeah.
So
and that's why I think that Orton's definitely going to win, just so they can keep this going, as opposed to it getting stale.
Well,
At least they're fighting for something.
so you're saying they're going to keep it going by Randy winning the title, but where does Jeff Hardy fit in that? I feel like Jeff Hardy has been in.
Jeff tries to get his title back.
This
even gives him more.
Well, he's already tried to get the title back. This is not Jeff Hardy's
this
not
is
champion.
more personal for him now too.
Correct, but if you look at it, the WWE rules, and according to Wrestling, we know if Jeff Hardy loses at SummerSlam, he should go in the back of the line. Shinsuke should have a rematch clause, and it should be Jeff Hardy Shinsuke, not Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton Shinsuke.
If that happens, yes, but I still believe that Orton will win.
Jeff Hardy had his rematch on SmackDown. What that next Tuesday? Like 2 days after Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
Yes,
And so he should be at the back of the line now for him.
yeah. I was kind of surprised.
Yes,
I was kind of surprised that when the thing on the WWE app said Jeff Hardy and Shinsuke, I was kind of surprised because he's already had his rematch clause.
Right.
So I mean, I was kind of like, okay, well, I thought it'd been Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton against Shinsuke, and then Jeff Hardy maybe gets added in.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Pat and I were texting about that in our group chat, and then 2 hours later, James says, "Okay, it's confirmed." It's like, we talked about this already.
Yeah.
James, where have you been?
Sometimes I'm a little late to the party when it comes
Clearly.
to
It's like he couldn't even look at the text beforehand and think, okay, well, they've already talked about it. Because literally, that was the last thing we talked about was the U.S. title match being Jeff versus Shinsuke.
Yep.
And then James comes in 2 hours late and is like, hey, it's confirmed.
Yep.
Duh.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
I rolled with it. I played it off like a champion.
You did, even if it was a couple hours late. That's fine.
So let me ask you this, and to kind of wrap up the subject here when it comes to the United States title picture. Do you think if it's added as a triple threat match that there's going to be too many triple threat matches on the card?
No.
Because you have a triple threat match for the women's SmackDown title.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of... Okay.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that.
You disagree with that? Okay.
I don't like the fact of the triple threat match for the women. I disagree with that.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't like that one. I mean, this one's okay.
But this one is
okay.
fine. This one I agree with.
I'm about the more the merrier, because you're under contract with the company. You should at least be doing something, not just sitting around backstage collecting a paycheck.
Well, that's what the kind of the live events have been for recently. Is if you're not on TV, most likely you're on the live event.
You're on live event, or you're on like main event before Raw.
Yeah. So I mean, it was just a question. I mean, if they came out and said it's gonna be a triple threat match, I won't be upset. I mean, it makes sense.
We'll all expect it. I mean,
again,
we all agree that it might happen. So,
are we all in agreement that just Jeff Hardy will not win?
Oh yeah, I don't
there.
see him winning at all.
Okay.
Nope.
Spoiler comes SummerSlam predictions. We're all picking against Jeff Hardy.
Okay, Paul Heyman.
Hey.
Spoilers.
Hey. Anyway, speaking of future champions, Andrade Cien Almas could be receiving a big push. I know this has been reported in the recent past. We were going to talk about it last week. Didn't really make the cut from the show, so we're going to talk about it this week. WWE has been looking for the next big Hispanic superstar since Rey Mysterio, because they tried with Sin Cara and failed. Because if you remember when Sin Cara first made his debut, the original Sin Cara, he when he'd have like the lights were orange, and he would have matches against some just jobbers, and he would win. And then out of nowhere, he just fell off the face of the earth.
Right.
Because in the middle of he stopped a match in the middle of it because of a dislocated finger. Guys will wrestle, like Triple H wrestled through torn quads.
Yep.
Undertaker got burned by his own pyro at an elimination chamber one year and still wrestled through it. But Sin Cara stopped a match because of a dislocated finger. That's where I think he failed.
Yep, that definitely hurt his shot.
So apparently Vince is pretty big on Andrade Cien Almas here lately. He really liked his match against AJ Styles, even though it was a losing effort on Almas's part. But he still really enjoyed it. I don't know if that was just part of AJ being a good match carrier. But Vince has also said he liked the matches against Rusev. He said they were pretty decent matches. He was okay with the matches against Sin Cara. Pat, what are your SummerSlam ideas for Almas? What do you think they'll do with him?
Well, I definitely see Almas getting a push, and rightfully so. He's very good. Like you said, that AJ Styles match, that was a really good match. Caught me off guard with how good it was, actually. I was actually surprised. I thought AJ Styles would be the one to essentially carry the whole match. But no, Andrade held his own, and I was surprised at that. But as for SummerSlam, I do believe that it'll be Rusev and Almas again. But I do believe that Aiden English will be back for Rusev Day, for those of you who are worried about that.
You really think so?
I do. I think that that's what they're going with for right now. I don't think he gets too big of a push yet. Maybe towards Survivor Series, maybe.
They're not going to push him just yet.
No, not just yet. But
if anything, he'll be like a U.S. title push for right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, for right now. I agree with that. I see that in the near future. James, what about you?
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I don't think he's a top title guy right now. I think the push that we can expect from him is a mid-card title, so that'd be United States title for SmackDown. And like, Rachel, to your point, like you said, Vince really liked his match against AJ. I don't really think that was a kind of an AJ carrying him. As we all know, AJ Styles can have a match with anybody. But I think Almas is a really good in-ring performer. He had a great match against Rusev.
Right.
And then he had a greater match with Sin Cara on the kickoff show of Extreme Rules and on an episode of SmackDown. So that just shows like he can hold his own. And
Almas can carry a match.
Yeah.
Because if you look at it, the first WWE match that Dave Meltzer gave 5 stars to was Almas versus Gargano at TakeOver.
Yeah.
What, 6 months ago, something like that?
Something
I can't
like that,
remember.
yeah.
A couple months ago.
Right.
It was the first 5-star match in 6 years.
Yeah.
So Almas is definitely a very good wrestler.
Yeah.
He's definitely doing something right.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great wrestler, and he's having good matches with seemingly anybody he's in the ring with so far in his main card run with SmackDown. But when it comes to SummerSlam, you were mentioning Rusev versus Almas. I would think it's going to be a mixed match tag match.
Mixed match tag. Just a mixed tag team.
Okay.
Hey, you know what?
So
I got confused my words. That's my bad.
Mixed match challenge is over, James.
Yeah, I know. You know, they still
Well, who do
have it on the TV every once in a while. It's like, what?
Yeah, because they'll do replays of it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me ask you, who do you think the mixed match?
Selena Vega and Almas versus Rusev and Lana.
That's where I'm going with it.
Okay,
Because, I mean, it's hinting that way anyway, because, you had a backstage thing where Rusev's like, where's Aiden? And then Lana's like, well, Lana needed you. And then they had the match with Selena Vega and Lana, which ended in Aiden English coming out and costing Lana, in quotations, the match.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think Aiden English, I don't think he's going to make it to SummerSlam with Rusev Day. I think
Really?
Yeah, I think what's going to happen is it's going to be Lana and Rusev against Selena Vega and Almas, and Rusev and Lana's going to be like, don't get involved in this.
And then Aiden will get involved, and then eventually
And then we're going to have a
Almas
feud
will...
with Rusev and Aiden on SmackDowns.
I don't agree with you guys. I think
What do you think is going to
I
happen?
I think like I said, it's going to be a mixed tag team match. It's going to be Vega and Almas versus Lana and Rusev. But English is going to come down to the ring and actually help Rusev win at SummerSlam. Because Almas is too new that a loss at SummerSlam to Rusev and Lana and a mixed tag team match not going to affect him much. To where if Almas were to beat Rusev, it's going to bury Rusev a little bit. I think it would anyway. So I think Aiden English comes down, helps Rusev win, and then we have Rusev Day again.
Well, it
Pat
depends.
shaking his head.
I gotta disagree on that, because if you're looking to give Almas a push, that's the wrong way of doing it, because you essentially...
Well, like I said, he's too new to really... And again, if it's a mixed tag team match, it's not going to affect him as much as it would Rusev.
Well, being new doesn't really mean anything to me anymore, because you look back at Paige. And,
Well,
Okay,
I mean,
that's
a
totally
different story.
different.
well, I mean, not really, because it's essentially the same in a way if you look at it, because Almas is good. Paige was good. She won the championship, and I think he definitely deserves this push, and I think losing to Rusev is bad. Bad for him.
But we've also seen new people to the WWE lose in feuds and not be buried. I mean, look at AJ Styles when he came into WWE. His first ever Mania match was against Chris Jericho when he lost.
Yeah,
And he didn't get buried after that. So
No, he's a current WWE champion.
exactly. So,
well, right.
but to
How long ago was that, though?
man, it was about going
It was
on
30. It was 30.
January be 3 years.
You say
Royal
it was
Rumble.
WrestleMania 32?
Yeah,
Wasn't it?
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was his first Mania. It was 32 because he debuted the Royal Rumble that same year because it was the Royal Rumble where the WWE title was on the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I can see where both of you are coming from. The only thing I'm going to disagree with you, Racing, on is when it comes to the Rusev burial, and don't give me that look. You knew this was coming. Is it doesn't really bury Rusev if they're going to go on with a storyline with it. If it's when it comes to the whole Rusev Day debacle going on as the last couple weeks. Because if Aiden English comes down and costs him the match, then we can see a Rusev Aiden English feud. But on the on the
Right.
flip side,
Okay, but yeah, you must have misunderstood me because what I said, what I meant was, if Almas and Vega were to cleanly beat Rusev
okay,
without any interference, they would bury Rusev.
okay, yeah, I
I
misunderstood you.
didn't really touch on the Aiden English because if they bring out Aiden English again and Rusev lose again, I don't think that'd be a good feud between the two of them because Rusev's too dominant. He's so much bigger than Aiden English. I don't think that'd be a good
It'd kind of
feud.
be like another big Cass Enzo type of thing.
yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely wouldn't be worth watching.
We don't need that.
But yeah, I definitely misunderstood you. Yeah, if they have Almas win and Vega win cleanly, if that's what the match is going to be, then yeah, that would hurt Rusev
No, I agree.
more than it does help. If they're going to push Almas, though, to a U.S. title picture or a push at all, I think they need him to beat Rusev just to get kind of a dominant feel. Because the only loss he has on SmackDown right now is against AJ, which is the current champion.
Yeah, but look at how
Right.
good that match was.
It was a good match.
It was a very good match,
Oh,
and he still
yeah.
lost.
It was very good. Yeah, he lost, but you know what? I think that match, even though he lost, put him over because it showed the WWE Universe, man, this guy can have a really good match.
Right. Oh, I definitely agree with that.
SmackDown is getting ready to have the finals for the Smackdown Tag Team Tournament that they've been having, and as we all know, that we had the New Day beat Sanity, and that was the loudest squeak I've ever
Sorry,
heard.
I moved the mic.
Yeah,
was
what's
rough.
rule number 1? Don't move the mic.
Hush. I need some WD-40 in here.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, that poor chair
Especially
there.
on this
It's
chair.
been squeaking
This
for an
chair's
hour.
squeaking all day.
Yeah,
man.
your chair is just saying, put me out of my misery and get a new chair.
These new chairs, these aren't comfortable. Anyway,
They are.
back
need
to
a fan,
SmackDown
too.
Live.
But the SmackDown, as we all know, the SmackDown Live tournament, tag team tournament's coming up to a wraps. And so far we had the Usos being knocked off by the Bar and the New Day knocked off Sanity. So the finals for the tournament is going to be the New Day versus the Bar. So we're going to start with you, Rachel. You know, what are you wanting to see play out when it comes to the finals of the SmackDown tournament? And who would you like to see win the titles moving forward?
Who do I want to see win the title?
Yes.
I want, because it doesn't look like Big E's going to get a push, because it doesn't look like they're going to break up New Day, I'd like to see New Day win it. I don't have much on that. I don't
Right.
care much right
All right,
now.
so
about
you
the
want New Day.
SmackDown.
So you
I
want
don't
New Day to win.
I don't want either team to win. I want it to be the club. But they weren't even in the tag team
No, they
tournament,
weren't,
which is
no.
ridiculous. It's like you've got more teams than just 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if
agree.
I had to pick a team, I'd go New Day.
All right, Pat. What do you get? What do you want to play out here?
Well, I actually see the Bar winning, but I also see Big E turning on the New Day in order for him to get his push. They need to do that if they want Big E to get that push. I see them actually doing that because New Day is kind of getting stale. I know they're kid favorites and all that. That's hunky dory and everything. That's cool. But at the end of the day, I see Big E turning on New Day just to essentially say, you guys are holding me back from accomplishing bigger things. I need to do my own thing, and then go on that run. And then the Bar wins tag team titles, and they go from there with that. But yep, that's my take on that.
James.
Man, I don't see Big E turning on the New Day. I think we're stuck with the New Day until at least through WrestleMania 34.
Okay, I want to believe
not 34,
that
35. There's no way I don't see the Bar winning the tag. I think the Bar is going to knock off the New Day. They're going to go down and beat the Bludgeon Brothers. I think it'd make no sense to have them off TV for that long, come back, beat the Usos, as we know, who's one of the best tag teams on that division.
Correct.
And has been for a very long time, and then lose to the New Day.
Yeah.
Or even beat the New Day and then lose to Bludgeon. I think it's time to take the titles off the Bludgeon Brothers. They ran their course. They were good champions. They were dominant.
Yep.
But I think,
give them a break.
In the same token, not really a break, but if you can have the Bar beat the Bludgeon Brothers, who nobody can seem to even come close to beating,
right?
Then that just says, hey, we're a really dominant tag team still, even though we were gone for so long, and it puts their mark onto the SmackDown side of things, like they did on the Raw side of things, and then you have another match between Bludgeon and the Bar, and who knows what's going to happen with that. But I think that's what I think is going to happen, and I think that's what should happen when it comes to the SmackDown Tag Team title.
I agree. I think the Bar should win. I want the New Day to win, but I think the Bar should win, because if they don't win, then they're not doing anything.
Yeah.
You brought them back for nothing.
Right. There's nothing for them to do if they don't win.
They'll just go back into hiding again.
Yeah.
That was pointless.
Or they'll go back, or they'll do a singles run, which not going to be good for either of them.
No.
Well, I think it would be only good for Sheamus at this point. I mean,
I don't even know about Sheamus.
I don't know. Yeah.
Sheamus is too injury prone at this point. I don't know how much more he can go I don't know how long he'd be able to go as a singles competitor.
Really?
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I mean, I think he has one good push left in him as a singles competitor, maybe two.
You remember his last singles push? It was terrible.
It was terrible.
It
was Sheamus 315.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was
bad.
Boring.
It was boring.
But I don't know. I'm like, although I'm going to point out something, Rachel, and I agree with you 100%. Why on earth is the club left out of this? Because realistically, it should be the Bar versus the club. Winner goes to SummerSlam.
Yeah. Maybe not have the club win it, but definitely give them recognition.
Well, yeah, because they had a great match. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. They had a great match against the Bludgeon Brothers a couple weeks ago when they were challenging for the tag team titles. Hey, it was a very good match.
You know what match would have brought the ratings?
Haven't done anything.
You know what match would have brought ratings to this pay-per-view?
What?
Hear me out.
All right.
So, obviously this is not going to happen, but this is what I would have done. Is the finals Tuesday night. It's the Bar versus the club. Bludgeon comes, like they did at Fastlane, beats both of them up. It is now a triple threat ladder match for the SmackDown titles. That would bring ratings.
I mean, yeah, I'd like to see it, but I know it ain't gonna happen.
No.
What?
I would.
The
I'd
only
like to
one
see that.
Okay, there's only three guys, because one of them's a Money in the Bank winner. Three guys that I could see that would be willing to climb a ladder, and that is Sheamus because he won Money in the Bank, Carl Anderson, and Cesaro, because Harper and Rowan are way too big to be climbing ladders for that long.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, let's look back in
Kane,
history.
Kane never won crap on a ladder, did he?
Yeah, he did. He won Money in the Bank.
He won Money in the Bank.
Oh, that's right, he did.
He did win Money in the Bank.
We have a Braun Strowman as Money in the Bank.
So,
a monster in the bank.
Yeah, size don't mean nothing.
No, you don't play that size card here because it ain't working.
And it's not the first time that Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows be in a ladder match. They were in a ladder match at WrestleMania 33.
Did you see Gallows climb a ladder? Because I don't remember.
I think I did.
I remember.
To be fair, Pat and I were kind of high up, so we couldn't tell if that was Luke Gallows or some other bald guy in the second row.
Yeah, we had to keep looking at the TV.
This is some bald guy from the second row jumps in.
Yeah.
He tries to win it.
Yeah, to be fair, we were still on the emotional high of the Hardy Boys coming back.
Oh, that was great.
But no, I mean, if anyone's going to win this match, it should definitely be the Bar. And
yeah,
I think the Bar should win the titles at SummerSlam, but Who knows? I mean, maybe they keep on the Bludgeon Brothers train and try to keep them as dominant as possible. But
maybe have a feud with the Bar, and I don't know. I don't see it happen. I do see the Bar winning the titles at the end of the day.
here's the problem I run into is, let's say Bludgeon Brothers retain the titles at SummerSlam. Where do they go from there? I mean, they've already dominated the Usos. They beat the New Day.
Right.
Sanity.
But even,
Yeah, but
They
essentially
haven't gone against Sanity yet.
well, yeah, but okay, but
But
this would have
Sanity
been
got
this
beat.
might have been the perfect time to have them. But now the Sanity just got buried by New Day.
right.
Well, you could
That hurt.
lead it into Survivor Series, do traditional Survivor Series elimination style. Well, no, that wouldn't work.
That wouldn't
because
work.
New Day would have to be champions for that to work.
They would,
Yeah,
yeah.
3
I
versus
didn't think
3.
that one through.
Right. No.
I mean, I wouldn't mind it.
Unless
I mean,
you bring over Bray Wyatt. No,
no,
that's not gonna happen.
no, it's not.
No.
Now if the New Day win, I hope that's what happens, 3 versus 3 elimination style. But if Bludgeon retains the titles at SummerSlam, you know, where I just don't see any way they can go, because Sanity just got buried by New Day.
They're essentially out of
And
it.
then who else is
I
on the
wouldn't say they
SmackDown
buried
roster?
them, but
It didn't hurt. It didn't
They
help.
didn't
them.
help him at all.
I know it didn't help them. But I mean, again, it's too early for them to really do anything. They've had one.
I don't know.
They've had one
Really,
pay-per-view match,
though?
and they won it because Eric Young fell with, was it Kofi on his back? Xavier Woods on his back. He fell off the apron through a table.
I just don't mean, but yeah. But I just don't get why you say it's too early for Sanity. I mean, yeah, they had one decent match. The rest have just been kind of mad, but they had all that build up when they got drafted.
Yeah.
And then now,
It's the same thing with Almas. You think Almas should be? I mean, I think he should be. Do you guys think he should be fighting for a U.S. title right now?
yes.
Why
not?
Not right now.
Why not?
Soon. Not right now.
I mean, storyline wise, no, because it would make sense. But
Right.
if, let's say, Rusev was champion and Almas was fighting for it, I would have no problem with that.
That's different, though.
Yeah, that's different.
But
He's not the champion. So, no. I don't think he deserves it right now. Like I said before, I think it's coming, but just not right now.
all right.
Anyway, speaking of champions, NXT TakeOver, the night before SummerSlam, the NXT Championship match is in jeopardy. Sort of. Aleister Black recently had an injury, torn groin, underwent surgery for it, and the wait time, the recovery time, is about 3 weeks
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
for this type of injury. So he's in pretty big jeopardy for not being at TakeOver this year. If he can't compete, what do you think NXT should do?
Well, the only smart thing for NXT to do and Triple H at this point is to definitely bring in Matt Riddle. That'd be the perfect way of bringing him in. I don't see any other way of him being brought into NXT other than that. Have him show dominance.
Well-
Prove to the other people that, hey, he's here to compete. James, you're shaking your head
James
at
shaking
me.
his head no.
No.
Pat,
No.
you said it's the only way to bring him in. I mean, if you
No.
look at every other NXT TakeOver, what do they do when they've got a new superstar?
They say ringside.
They sit ringside.
Yeah, but this would be different. I think they need different.
I agree.
I
I think
would
the
love
sitting
that.
I think the sitting at ringside is getting old.
It is getting
Well,
old. I'm
let's-
tired of seeing it.
okay.
Stale.
One of the
It-
best
yeah.
recent debuts at NXT, the person was not sitting ringside. In fact, it was Adam Cole coming out and attacking somebody. I forget who he
Wow.
attacked.
Yeah. Okay, maybe do that with Matt Riddle. Why not do that with Matt Riddle?
I
Or
don't
have
know.
him added to the match. Don't have him sitting ringside, just commentating or spectating and everything like that. Like,
Look,
no. Tired of that.
I think that's where he needs to be.
Why is that?
Because Matt Riddle, I mean, wrestling world, he's no Adam Cole.
Okay, well,
I see both your points, and I agree with both of them. But I'm with Pat on this one. I think the best option is to put him in the match.
Do you
Yeah.
think he's ready for a match?
I think he
I
is.
think he's-
He's
yeah,
had one of
absolutely.
the fastest UFC to WWE transitions I think I've ever seen.
definitely better than Ronda.
Definitely better than Ronda. And if Ronda's getting a title match this early, why can't Matt Riddle?
Right.
I think the reason is because we all knew who Ronda Rousey was and what draw she was. I don't think you can compare Matt Riddle and Ronda Rousey when it comes to a draw. I think that's the
but-
big difference.
No, but when
can't.
it comes to also, you're gonna have Ciampa and Gargano. People are gonna pay to see that. So, and you're gonna just get more buys for people who want to see Matt Riddle.
So you're saying Matt Riddle should be in a match, not the championship match, or are you saying
No,
he should be in the championship match.
why?
Why
Why
not?
not?
Why? Okay, why? Because, well, what has he done to earn it? You're of all people have sit here and say they have
This
to
is
earn title
NXT,
matches.
It's different.
It's not different.
It is
What's
different.
the difference? What's the difference?
NXT's development. It's different for me.
Yeah, it's development. It's not the same as WWE in a sense.
Okay, but how would it make sense to add Riddle into the triple threat? How would it make sense, storyline wise?
Just do it.
Exactly. You don't have to have make sense. I mean, just-
WWE does stuff all the time that doesn't make sense.
I understand that
like
completely.
Brock Lesnar's still champion. Why?
Why?
We don't know.
Look, I
one
agree with
knows.
you with that, but what I'm saying is NXT is known usually as the last couple years as putting on better shows than the main roster. Well, I'm perfectly fine if Aleister Black is down for the
Well,
pay-per-view.
I want
I'm
to see
not.
him.
Yeah,
I
no.
want to see.
Oh,
I'd rather see
no.
Black in it.
Okay, for one, you can ask Pat over here.
He almost cried. People.
Okay,
almost
almost cried
cried.
because I love Aleister Black's my favorite NXT guy on the roster right now.
Get out of here,
very
man.
good.
Okay,
He's good.
I-
but
he's
what
not
I'm
my
saying
favorite,
is, let's say
No.
Aleister can't go. I'd rather him get healthy so he doesn't hurt himself quicker and have a Ciampa Gargano part 3 for
Part
the
4.
title. Oh, it's part 4.
No, it is part 3.
Part 3, yeah.
Part 3.
At a takeover for a championship, winner takes all. I'd be
I-
perfectly fine with that because storyline, it makes sense. Okay,
Mm,
and we already seen that they put on incredible matches when in the ring together. But you never know. Maybe have the first ever NXT Hell in a Cell match. Do it with those two.
I don't see him doing that.
I'd like to see it.
I mean,
I would like
I
to see
think-
it. I don't see it.
Matt Riddle.
There you go.
That option's gone. I think. Is he okay? Like you said, he might be ready. He might. Okay, but he's not known with the WWE crowd right now. He's not known.
Well,
So you're
while
gonna
the-
add. That's like, okay, it's probably not to this extreme, but that's like saying Velveteen Dream comes up to the main card and gets a WWE title shot.
Yeah, I don't want that to happen because I don't like Velveteen Dream.
But you see what I'm saying? Or that's like saying when Ricochet came into WWE.
Who?
Ricochet.
I sound like he said Ricky Shea.
Ricky
No.
Shed.
Ricky Shea.
That's
Ricochet.
different though.
Ricochet coming to WWE, getting his first match for the NXT title.
I would be okay with
That's totally different.
You would have been because you knew who he was. If
that. I know who Matt Riddle is.
Exactly.
not
People
everyone
who
does.
know.
I'm talking to the majority. Let's say our listeners. Maybe
All
they don't
20
know.
of you.
Hey,
All tw-
or thankful for
We're
it.
three
you gotta
of them. Three of
think
them.
though. You gotta think though. People who do know Matt Riddle would love to see this.
That's what I was saying. It's like people are going to people are going to pay to see Gargano versus Ciampa, and you're only going to add more people to see Matt Riddle.
Okay, what
It's
is
going to boost
It's not gonna
sales a
hurt.
little bit. Not going to be $100 million more, but it's going to be enough.
Right.
what would
It'll
make
help.
more sense is what they did with Adam Cole is have the winner get attacked by Matt Riddle. That'd make more sense to me.
I could see that
Because,
happening
look,
too, but
yeah,
I'm a
but-
big wrestling fan. You all know this, but I don't know who Matt Riddle is. Not for the most part. I don't know who he is.
really?
For the most part, no, because I don't watch UFC.
Well,
If you don't watch UFC, you have no clue who Matt Riddle is.
I usually just watch the highlights.
Yeah, you
He's
should watch
pretty
highlights.
good.
That's how I
Yeah,
know who he is.
I don't even watch the
that's
highlights.
all I
Unless
do.
it's, so when like Rousey, I watched her matches, her fights, not matches. I watched her fights because she was good,
Right.
and
But
she
everybody who-
caught my attention because she was so dominant.
Well, right.
But Matt Riddle, I don't know who he is. I don't really.
When they're in the UFC, I usually pick who I want to watch because people will say, "Oh, he's hinting more so towards going for a WWE run soon."
Okay,
I
but-
do that. I
but
watch
listen to
their
this.
highlights and then say, "Oh, he could be good."
Okay, you just point out something because he's going to WWE. He was just recently rumored, probably within the last couple weeks,
Yeah.
that he was going to be interested in the WWE in a contract.
Yeah.
So that doesn't have a lot of time to get used to this guy. So you're going to tell me you're going to get this guy who you cannot guarantee that even 70% of your viewers are familiar with and put him in a title match in his first match?
I agree with putting him in a title match first match.
But what I'm saying is the other 70%, let's say
They don't know him, but they're gonna know him.
they're going to know him, but
Exactly.
I guess
This
we have
is-
to agree to disagree on this one.
You're
I
gonna
don't
have
think it
to
should be-
because
We're going to have to be because we have to move on.
Yeah. But all right, moving on to the top 5 for the week. You know, WWE does this thing now with top 5, whether it be tag team or the most dominant and power rankings in WWE right now. Now, I kind of agree with their list. I have 2 of them switched around, and my list is as follows. Number 5.
Who is the WWE list first?
Huh?
Who's on the WWE's list first?
Brock
that's what I'm
Lesnar was
doing.
number 1.
Yep.
Oh, WWE's list? Oh, okay.
Yeah, what is that?
Charlotte was number 2.
Charlotte was
Yep.
number 2.
3 was
The bar.
Okay,
4,
why can't you just say it? Don't put your thumb out like the bar symbol. Just say it.
he likes the bar.
The
I
bar.
do like the bar.
4 was Sasha and Bailey, and 5 was the
was-
Revival.
Revival.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't have Brock Lesnar,
I just like
Okay.
doing the bar sign.
and I don't have.
Okay,
I don't know.
let's be
But,
unanimous
anyway.
here. Brock Lesnar's not on our list. Right?
Nope.
Okay. Cool.
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Actually, yes, he is. He
For
is on my
what?
list.
What do you do? Let me do a Brock
okay.
Lesnar imitation.
He dominated
No,
Paul Heyman.
no,
I
no.
didn't
Just
see
sit.
it. It was
Just
cool.
sit down.
That's all he did.
Just
F5
let him-
And it
triangle.
was cool. I liked it. I was a
Nah.
fan of that. I don't like Brock Lesnar being the champion, but I liked that segment.
right.
It was cool.
Cool.
Give
All
me
right,
a break.
Give us your top 5.
Give me a break. Okay, number 5 is the Revival. Very good. 4, Sasha and Bailey. Don't know where they're going with that, but they're dominant. 3 is definitely the Bar. They're up there for a reason. I see them winning. 2, Lesnar. I have him switched from number 1 to number 2. Number 1 is Charlotte. Unfortunately,
Unfortunately,
yes, because I don't want Charlotte added to the match.
I don't either.
But she is dominant. And I had to put her at number 1. I had to, because she
I've got
is
her on my
very
list.
good. She's very good.
Anyway.
I had to put her on there. And James, what's your top 5?
So my top 5 is as follows. We got number 5 is Charlotte. It's hard to leave her off the top 5 considering she just qualified for the.
It's hard to
SummerSlam
put her
triple-
at 5 when she qualified.
No, listen to my
Right,
list,
yeah.
okay?
All right.
It's my opinion.
All right. All right.
Carry on.
Number 4, the Revival. They knocked off the former Raw Tag Team Champions. Number 3, the Bar. As we all know, they came back in their first match as a SmackDown Live member and won. Number 2, Randy Orton. I think the attacks he's been having on Jeff Hardy is going to somehow get him involved in the title picture later on. And just, it's hard to argue ever since his return at Extreme Rules that he's been nothing but dominant as a heel. And number 1, Samoa Joe. And the reason I have him at number 1 is because he cut an excellent promo last Tuesday night. And
Yeah.
and ever since he's been even sniffing the title picture, he's been dominant. So it's kind of hard to.
So James left off Sasha and Bailey and Brock Lesnar.
Right.
I
I
did.
think you
And-
have Orton too high.
Well,
I do too.
here's my thing. Okay, so you want me to explain why I don't have Sasha and Bailey and Lesnar on the list?
I want you to explain why you have Orton at 2.
Orton at 2 is because he's been as he's been turned heel, as he came back heel as Extreme Rules. He's been nothing but short but dominant when it comes to attacking Jeff Hardy.
I can understand why you don't have Sasha
Yeah.
or Brock Lesnar on, but Sasha and Bailey, why don't you have them on there?
Yeah.
Because you don't know where they're going?
I don't
Well, they had 2 matches as a tag team.
Okay.
One of them was against Jobbers.
Okay.
And who would they even fight Tuesday night? It wasn't even. Oh, the
Monday night.
fought,
It was the
um,
Riot Squad. He doesn't
Riot
even
Squad.
know what
Riot
brand they're
Squad.
I
on.
know.
Well, because okay, without Ruby Riot.
There you
what-
go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
right.
You're
So,
right.
alright. Ruby Riot.
So?
Yeah.
So?
Ember Moon's beaten both of them the last month.
No, Sarah
Well,
Logan won.
Oh, okay,
Sarah
she
Logan
did.
won, yes.
But my point being, they're not. Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan hasn't identified them as a tag team yet. And my point is, okay, Sasha and Bailey tag team. There's no titles, so it doesn't really matter.
No, but they
So-
are the most dominant tag team, right? Yeah.
Out of what? Okay,
women.
out of the 2 possible tag teams you have on Raw,
But they're still dominant, though.
out of the 2,
It works. Don't
it does,
argue.
It does work, and they are dominant.
you're,
You listen to
Do
your
I like
elders.
Because they're a main focal point right now. They're in the spotlight right now.
they
Right.
are in the
they
spotlight. But what I'm
do-
saying is, power rankings, you have to be leading somewhere. And right now, until they bring tag team titles to that division, the ceiling
It
is
could be
the
leading.
spotlight.
It could be leading into Sasha turning on Bailey or Bailey turning on Sasha.
I hope not.
But,
Oh, God,
But here's
no.
the thing. Man, my voice
Oh,
cracked.
wow.
James
Oh,
knows your
God.
puberty right here.
But what my thing is with that is, okay, one of them turns on the other. Then whoever turns on that person gets on the power rankings.
I hope that
Until
doesn't
that
happen, huh?
happens, until no, there's a lot
No.
to be. A lot has been unseen so far in this feud or in the.
It
but
really
that
has been.
so. Until then, I gotta leave them off my list because right now Samoa Joe, and Orton, they just made more of a mark than those two have right
All
now.
right, fine. Well, anyway, on to my list.
Y'all can hate me all y'all want, but that's my list.
On
and
to
I'm
my
sticking
list.
to it.
All right. Well,
I left off Brock Lesnar,
Thank you.
and I left off the bar.
Hey,
I left off the bar for this tag team, and they weren't even in a tag team match this week because they've been dominant for the past 2 weeks. My number 5 is Titus Worldwide because for the past 2 or 3 weeks they've been absolutely dominating the Authors of Pain. Apollo Crews picked up a victory. A couple weeks ago, they cleared the ring of Authors of Pain. They looked strong. They actually looked like a decent tag team and not like a side freak show.
They are, though.
if this was a top 5 of momentum, I would have them on there, but not a power rankings.
Is that not what power ranking is?
Not in my view, no.
In my
Oh my
book,
God.
no.
Okay,
Not
no.
in my view.
Okay, then what is it for you?
Okay, maybe it is momentum.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. And then that's why.
Oh, you have no room to talk. If you don't say momentum, you have Lesnar on there. That's the first time he's been around in months.
But
Baloney. Don't know but. That's baloney. That's
it was the first time he's been on there in months.
what did
Yes,
he do?
but
And
he
what did he
did
do?
something
Sat on the
great.
couch and
He
read
did something
magazines.
that we all wanted to see for a long time, and that's turn on Paul Heyman. Thank the
What,
Lord
show up?
above.
That's what I wanted to see.
That's
that he
I
turned
actually
on
agree
Paul
with Pat
Heyman.
on that one. That is
Think-
kind of momentum.
Yes,
That's
towards
momentum.
he turned
SummerSlam.
on Paul Heyman,
But
and
no,
that's
what I'm arguing
momentum.
the fact is that when I made the incorrect statement saying mine is based on momentum, he agreed with my statement.
No, I didn't.
And yes, you did.
No, you did.
No, what?
You did.
Did I?
Yes, you
Yeah,
did.
you did.
That's why I said baloney to you, because if you had it as didn't have it as momentum, Lesnar would not be on that list.
Sure. I thought I disagreed with
No,
him.
you agreed
Man,
with
we
my
turned
statement.
this from Titus Worldwide being on my list to a
I know.
different subject.
I know.
Anyway, number 4, Randy Orton. I agree with James. He's been pretty strong the past couple weeks, beating up Jeff Hardy, even if it is sneak attacks. Number 3, Sasha and Bailey. Number 2 is the Revival. Number 1 is Charlotte.
Okay, so
All right,
so what's up with you two and Sasha and Bailey?
They're good. What is
They're a
with
good
you
tag
and
team.
not
I
having
love
them on
Bailey.
there?
Don't get me wrong. I got a Bailey shirt at home.
I do too.
They're a good tag team.
They are.
If they were to introduce tag team championships, I wouldn't mind seeing those two
Hey.
as champions.
I do like their finisher though.
I haven't been watching.
It's like a backstabber into Bailey to belly.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it-
did see that. Okay, so I did see that.
They actually made the Bailey to belly watchable.
Anyway,
Hey, when she does it from the top rope, it's a little different story.
That's different. That's cool. Make that the all-time finisher for her. Don't make it regular. But
we were kind of as you mentioned earlier, and Pat and Race on the heel turn with, not heel turn, but that's a bad segue
This
again. I hate
James
this
is bad at
job.
segues.
Oh
Do you
my
want me to do
God.
this for you?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm fired.
Anyway, talking about Brock Lesnar.
It's like my first segue of the day. Well,
No, it's
second.
not.
no, it wasn't.
You've had 2 before this one. You had 2 before this one, and they were okay. I mean, this one was absolute garbage, man.
Hey,
Oh
well,
lordy.
Pat's mom.
Anyway, speaking of Lesnar, is he done for a while after SummerSlam? So is Lesnar done after SummerSlam with WWE?
In my opinion, yes. I think he's gonna go on and train for UFC, do UFC stuff, and then eventually come back, in regular Lesnar fashion, 6 or 7 months to a year, because we'll never hear from him again. I
Ever.
would not be mad about that either, because the more time he's there.
I'd be mad if he took. Do you think he's going to take the championship with him, or do you think he loses?
No, I think he loses.
Okay, good.
Oh yeah, I think he loses.
I'd say,
Oh,
'cause-
please don't take it with you. I'd
The
like
only
to see
the
it.
only good thing about him taking the title with him is if he actually wears it to the octagon
I hope he does.
and
That'd
then
be
loses,
funny.
and then Daniel Cormier stands over top of him, his lifeless, knocked out body with both the UFC championship
And
and,
the-
the Universal championship, holding him above his lifeless body.
Hey,
I told you this before, but the only way that would be a good thing is if Lesnar gets beat at UFC and then he Braun Strowman walks out with the briefcase.
Oh yeah.
You did say that one.
Oh yeah,
say
I would
that
love
one.
that. That'd be funny. Just
Um,
have the referee come down.
Have a referee
1,
with
2,
him.
3.
Boy,
Ding,
what
ding.
cross promotion that would be. I
Oh,
wouldn't mind seeing that.
I
Me
wouldn't
either.
either.
That'd be really cool.
That'd be must-see television right
That
there.
would, I'd
Pay-
gladly pay for that.
Well, that's the thing. We don't know what's going to happen though, so we.
I
wouldn't
know,
pay
but I'd
for
be
it.
paying for it.
So do you want to get together?
If it was rumored, I'd pay for it.
Do we want to get together and watch the paper? Okay, so if Lesnar wins at SummerSlam, do we want to get together and split the pay-per-view for that?
But-
All right. Anyway, James, do you think Lesnar's done?
No.
No.
I mean, are we talking done as in permanent? Because if so,
No,
then
no,
still he's done
Okay.
for a while.
Yeah, after SummerSlam, I think he's gonna kind of go away for a while and start training for the UFC. I do believe there's a different. I'm not an expert, but I would imagine there's a different training technique.
Very different. Very different.
So I think he's going to go train for UFC and kind of get in shape for that and just get back to UFC routine. But I can see him coming back for WrestleMania.
Yeah. Okay, so if Paul Heyman were to stick around, because here recently, this past week, he was at the NXT Performance Center kind of giving some hints, or not hints, but
Pointers.
Thank you.
Advice
Word I'm
and
looking
stuff
for.
like
He's giving
that.
advice to the younger generation, to the next generation of wrestlers. If he stays with WWE, who do you want to see him manage?
I don't know that I'd want to see him manage anybody. I would like them to bring back ECW and have him be the general manager.
We
of
talked about
that.
this before.
But that's the only thing that I would want to see him do. Manage-wise, I don't know who I'd want to see him manage, because nobody else works like Brock Lesnar, because Lesnar just doesn't talk. Unless, last Monday.
See, I have someone in mind, and I'm glad Raceland's not driving, because I'd be walking home.
Who's that?
Ronda Rousey.
I'm thinking that too, but that's not my
That's
answer.
what I would have
think-
thought, but it doesn't make sense to me.
Well, everyone in the wrestling world is like, oh, Roman Reigns is going to be the next Paul Heyman guy.
Oh, please,
The only
no.
problem I have with that is Paul Heyman is great on the mic.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns is good on the mic.
Roman Reigns is
So
good.
he can hold his own on the mic
Roman Reigns
without
is,
being...
No, Roman Reigns is good when it's from the heart and it's not scripted.
They need
Right.
to let him do that more.
It's not going to
Yes,
happen.
And I agree, it's not gonna happen, but-
Especially if he wins the title, he's going to go back to being script.
I want Paul Heyman to be with someone who would benefit from him the most, and I think that's Ronda Rousey. She's proven she can wrestle,
Yeah.
but she cannot cut a promo.
No.
So if you give someone who can cut a promo for her, like in Paul Heyman, and hype her up, and she puts on great matches, that's championship material.
But you're essentially going down the same path as Brock Lesnar.
No, you're not, because Rousey's going to be there every week. She's even performing at live events every week. She is completely different than the Lesnar.
Yeah, you remember Lesnar back in the day?
Back in the
It's
here's the thing,
different than this.
Lesnar went from WWE to UFC,
Yeah.
made himself into a must-watch market at UFC, came back. Rousey was already a must-watch market, and then she came to WWE and still does this. I think it's completely different.
I
think
agree with that. Yeah.
I think there's a difference there. I think the difference is, I think she understands what it's like to be I think she understands the difference between the two.
Yeah.
And I think she also has a big legacy to uphold, because Roddy Piper kind of gave her the go-ahead, especially with the jacket. And I think that she kind of has that. She's making sure she lives up to that as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. But
I'm
I
going
also
with James.
see.
I'm going with James on this one.
Oh, you rather see
I'm
Rousey?
going to say Rousey.
Wow.
I'm
Well,
going to say
you-
Rousey. I had a
guys
couple in
just
mind.
don't
I
want
was
me
thinking Roman Reigns, but then I was like, well, if he wins the title, if he wins the title, I wouldn't be surprised to see him go be a Paul Heyman guy, because you know what? That would be a decent. That wouldn't be bad, because like I said, he's going to go back to script if he wins the title, and the only way you could have Paul Heyman be a manager is if he's the manager of a heel. And that's what Roman Reigns needs, is a heel. So
And I don't
I'm
think
going to change
Rousey-
my answer. I'm going Roman Reigns.
Yeah, and under your point, I don't think Rousey's going to be turned heel anytime soon.
No.
No.
But so let me ask you this: you're saying Roman Reigns is the next Paul Heyman guy in quotations. So, do you think Heyman helps Reigns wins the title come SummerSlam?
No, I don't even think Paul Heyman's there.
Really?
I don't think Paul Heyman comes out.
I think he does. I don't know what for, but I do see him being at SummerSlam.
See, I can see both of your arguments.
If he is at SummerSlam, I think he helps Reigns win, just because of what Brock did on Monday.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to be there. I don't think he's going to be in Brock's corner or anything. So
No,
I
definitely
guess-
not.
I guess what I've been reading is Lesnar's only scheduled for one more Raw before SummerSlam, so it's going to be a lot to say.
there's only 2 Raws before SummerSlam.
Yeah.
It's tomorrow night, next week.
I think it's
Probably
2
Well,
weeks.
So yeah.
2
Again,
weeks.
reco-
The go
again-
home show.
Again, we record this on Sunday, so tomorrow is Monday.
Yes.
I don't
even
think he's
though-
there. What I've been reading is he's slated to be at the go home show. So if Heyman's there at the go home show and nothing really big happens, I think he's going to be there.
I don't know. Anyway, moving on, because we're over our hour limit before editing. So we're going to
Lovely.
go straight into final thoughts. Pat, final thought for the week.
Well, final thought for the week is definitely going to have to be Matt Hardy. I hope he doesn't retire, but I see it happening. I do. He's a bit up there in age. You know, over time, wrestling does take a toll on your body. No matter how many people say, "Oh, it's just fake and scripted." Yes, but over time, stuff does hurt, and it does affect your body. And I think that it eventually has caught up to Matt Hardy, unfortunately. And we're gonna have to say goodbye soon.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
It's gonna be
James is mouthing that he doesn't know what his final thought is yet, so I'll go with mine. My final thought for the week is it's about time to turn Big E heel. Definitely because the New Day doesn't need to become the current Roman Reigns or John Cena of the tag team division, because if they go on too much longer, the fans aren't going to start going with it. They're going to start booing. If they want to revamp themselves, go back as heels. But I think it's about time for Big E to run solo.
Yep, I agree with that.
All right, James.
Well,
I
guess,
gave you about 30 seconds.
I guess. Well, you know, my final thought of last week was the poster, so it's not going to be that this week.
God.
Although they
Okay,
did not
good.
change it.
Oh,
They did not
Lord.
change it yet.
We're
so
not getting into that one again.
we're not getting up to that one.
Because we're already over time limit.
Yeah. But my final thought is kind of basic, and it's take the title off of Lesnar. As everyone in the WWE universe, it's tiring. I mean, it's to the point to where I think he got booed heavily when he even came out on Monday night.
Oh yeah.
And kudos to Vince McMahon. Kudos to him. He's somehow getting Reigns cheered. I mean,
That's because people don't like Lesnar more than Reigns.
Yeah.
yeah. So I still think when it comes to SummerSlam, it's going to be a boo fest when it comes to that main event.
Oh,
But
yeah.
do the right thing. Take the title off of Lesnar. Give us a full-time Universal Champion. I don't care if it's Reigns at this point. Whether it's Reigns, Owens, Strowman.
It's going to be Owens, I'm telling
I
you
don't
now.
care who it
It's going
is.
to be Kevin Owens. Kevin
It is
Owens is
not
going
gonna
to
be
Kevin
Kevin.
Owens. Cash in.
Hey, it could be Kevin. I don't care who it is at this point. Give us a full-time Universal Champion, because that title, ever since being introduced to us, has not had a full-time champion for a period of time.
For a decent period of time now. I mean, it's been over a year now.
Yeah. And we have not had a full-time champion.
And then a full-time champion in
Well,
about a year and a half.
We had Finn Balor, who had to get relinquished it the next night.
He's
Then you had
Kevin
Kevin Owens, who
had it for a
was
couple months.
full-time.
Couple months.
Then you had Goldberg.
Who was
Yeah.
like between part and full-time.
Yeah, he was kind of half and half. And then you had Lesnar, who was
Who is not even part-time.
not even part-time.
He's like working 1 hour a week. if
Exactly. So,
Well, he was backstage reading a magazine. So,
that.
Yeah.
Right.
then he
we all
came
know
out
how
and did
much
his
he cares.
F5.
Have you seen some of the photoshops that people have been doing?
Yeah.
You'll have to check them out, because we're not going to talk about them, because it's not something we need to talk about.
Yeah.
But it's you'll have to check them out. It's pretty good.
Yeah, but my final thought is take the title off of Lesnar at SummerSlam. Do the right thing. And I think, honestly, if that happens, you may see a spike in ratings. Just to kind
Very well
of point it
Yeah,
there.
because the title will actually be on Raw.
Yeah. I mean, the Raw ratings have been decent for the first 2 hours, but the third hour has been down. And I'm not saying it's because of Lesnar. I'm not going to go into that, but it couldn't hurt. It couldn't hurt to have a full-time champion.
Yeah, but the only title they have to look forward to is the Intercontinental.
Yeah. And who knows what's going to happen with that title come SummerSlam. There's a lot's going to have to unfold here between when we record this podcast on a Sunday, August 5th,
August 5th.
to SummerSlam, which is still 2 weeks from today.
Yeah.
But we'll have to wait and see about what unfolds, and we'll have to be patient and really,
We'll talk more storyline next week.
yeah. And
Yep.
next week, we're going to record 2 episodes. We're going to kind of release them 2 separate times. We're going to have the NXT TakeOver Prediction Show, which we're going to try to have recorded next Sunday and released on the Monday after. And then SummerSlam, be on the lookout for that around the 13th, I think it's
About Wednesday.
Wednesday the 13th of 4th. Let's see, I can give you the exact date here. So our plan is to have a release date of the NXT Prediction Show on the 13th. And that Wednesday, August 15th, the week of SummerSlam, we're going to have the release of the SummerSlam Prediction Show. And as you know, they don't know, but we have a brand new title over
We have
there.
a brand new title. We'll
Yeah,
take
we
a picture. We'll take a picture of it later. Put it up on Twitter.
We'll put on Twitter, Facebook. We have yet to make an Instagram. I don't know what we're going to do
We're
on
not
there
doing
yet.
Instagram.
Yeah, we don't really need to do Instagram.
Yeah, not right now.
We don't do photos enough and videos
Yeah.
and
No,
Well, what if they're curious to see our gorgeous...
Facebook or Twitter.
Faces.
Go
yeah,
to
you
it.
guys go Facebook, Twitter, YouTube.
That's
That's all we've got. That's
Yeah.
all we're gonna stick with.
That's
right
all
now.
we're
Oh,
sticking
we have a
with.
website, though, too.
Yeah,
We do. Yeah. And I run 2 of the 3, so please no Instagram.
Yeah.
I run.
You run
Facebook.
Pat runs Facebook. I run YouTube, and James runs Twitter and
Yeah.
the website.
Yeah.
So I mean, I could do Instagram and just take pictures and stuff.
We
like
don't
that.
do pictures enough. That's the only issue.
What would we take pictures of?
Not take pictures of, but like, I don't know. We'll talk about that at a different time.
Yeah.
Not on there.
We'll talk that off air.
Yeah.
But
Pat doesn't know.
yeah,
I
so-
know, but I don't want to go into detail.
Okay.
'Cause it's
Yeah.
a
All
lot.
right, fine. Anyway.
And don't forget, we're having a live reaction show of right after SummerSlam on the 19th. So be sure to be on the lookout of that as well. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have links on our Twitter page and Facebook page as well.
We'll be
Oh,
on.
yeah.
What are we gonna do? YouTube Live, Facebook.
No.
We're gonna
YouTube and
Facebook Live?
Facebook.
It- yeah,
YouTube and
YouTube
Facebook.
and Facebook.
I think if we can do both, let's do both.
We can do both.
Then let's do both.
How are we? Okay, how are we gonna do that?
We'll talk about that off air.
I think we have to link them somehow.
We'll do that
Anyway,
off
Okay,
air.
we'll try and do that.
But
anyway.
that will do it for this episode of Wrestle Talk with 3 Goofballs. I'm James with Pat and Raceland. Have a good rest of the day.